Dharma. Who am I? What am I? How do I look? Yes, the same Dharma in whose name people sometimes fight wars and sometimes spread violence. The irony is that those who fight wars or spread violence in my name don't even know my definition. People often mistake me for religion. There are many types of religions like Hindu, Buddhist, Sikh, and Christian. But there is only one Dharma. Perhaps this is why many people hate my name today, because they feel that I limit people and snatch their freedom. But I am just the right path to live a human life, and every religion teaches to follow my path. Before knowing the story of the Mahabharata, it is essential to know my definition, and you will get the answer to this in a few moments. I connect man with God through deeds. I am very simple to understand as well as very difficult. It depends on the perspective of the one who understands me. I am the one who helps in keeping the world running. If I am not followed, then the world sinks into the jaws of destruction. When time and society changes, my definition also changes. My ultimate goal is one to develop and maintain the universe's balance. I will tell you about my definition with a simple example. If a man raises his hand on a woman, then it will be called a dharma. But why so? Because by doing so, he is disturbing the balance of nature. Now, how will he do so? His children will learn this and exploit other women in society, and their future generations will follow suit. This will increase violence against women in society, violate the universal law that men and women should be treated equally, and upset the balance of the universe. People around him will witness this, and the incident will become ingrained in their minds that abusing a woman isn't a crime because he received no punishment for it. People will not be able to connect with God. Perhaps this is also a reason why the unrighteous should be punished. That is why even small deeds of man can promote unrighteousness, and that is why man should think 10 times before doing anything. Now you must be thinking what my definition has to do with the immortal story of the Mahabharata. If I have to tell the essence of the Mahabharata in one word, then it would be Dharma Sankat, or ethical dilemmas. That should I kill my own brothers for justice? Should we surround and kill an innocent child just to win a war? Should we gamble our wife to win back everything? The Kuruvanshis always got stuck at such a crossroads where one path was mine and the other was of Adharma. That is why no one will be able to tell this story better than I. Mahabharata is not a simple war story. This story has the essence of humanity hidden in it. Whoever reads and studies it gets my knowledge completely. Sages consider it like the fifth Veda. It is the immortal word of sages. It is the story of heroes, the battle of righteousness with unrighteousness. Blessed is that story which has the essence of Lord Krishna's Gita. Before going into the story, let me tell you that there are only two heroes of this story. One is the Almighty Lord Krishna, and the other is the best warrior amongst the Kurus, Arjun. Now, let us dive into the story. Sri Krishna Dvaipayan Vyas was the composer of this epic, but it was written by Lord Sri Ganesha. It was at the beginning of Kali Yuga that Brahmarshi Vyas got the title of Ved Vyasa because he divided the knowledge of Vedas into four parts, which we know today as Rigved, Samaved, Yajurved, and Atharvaved. For many years, Vedavyasa had been meditating and writing various texts to educate people about the four pillars of Purushartha, which are Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. He wrote numerous Puranas such as the Bhagavata Purana. And during this time, Lord Vyasa began to reflect on the history of his ancestors, who were the Kuruvanshis, where the great battle of Kurukshetra took place. He thought that the story of the Kurukshetra war contained all the paths to attain Purushartha. So he thought that he should propagate the story for the welfare of humanity. Thinking so, he composed the Mahabharata in his mind, but he got into the dilemma that how he should teach this epic to his disciples and how to tell people about this epic, because this epic was so big it was almost impossible for a human to memorize it completely. Seeing Vyasa in this difficulty, Prajapati Brahma appeared before him. Vyasa was delighted to see Lord Brahma and said to him, O Lord, I have composed a great epic in which all types of knowledge, Vedic and worldly, are present. There is no such knowledge of the universe which is not present in this epic. There is only one reason for my worry, that is, its writing is necessary for its propagation, and every verse of this epic should be written after a lot of thought. But when I try to write it myself, then my attention is diverted from the verses. That is why I need someone who can listen to me and write this epic. I need someone who understands each and every verse and then writes it. Hearing this, Lord Brahma said, O Vyasa, the epic you are going to compose will be the best epic in this world indeed. Hence, there can be no better person than Shivagauri's son Ganesh for writing this best epic. Saying this, Lord Brahma disappeared. Following Brahma's advice, Vyasa prayed to Ganesha. Hearing his prayers, Lord Ganapati appeared before him at that very moment. Maharshi narrated his entire problem to Lord Ganesha, to which he said, O Holy One, I will definitely do your work, but I have one condition. You must narrate without stopping while I write. If you stop, my concentration will be disturbed. I don't like wasting time like this. If my concentration is disturbed, I will not be able to write this great poem in one sitting, and it will be an injustice to this great epic. To which Vyasa also said, O son of Gauri, I accept your condition, but you too must not write any of my verses without understanding them first. Thus, the writing of the Mahabharata began. While writing the Mahabharata, Maharshi Vyas observed that Ganesha could understand the meaning of the verses and write them very quickly. So he composed more difficult and profound verses, which even Ganesha himself was taking time to understand. And in the meantime, Maharshi composed some further verses. This way, the writing of the Mahabharata was completed. After this, Maharshi Ved Vyasa taught this epic to his 5 disciples, who were Sumant, Jaimini, Paila, Vaishampayan, and his son Sri Shuk Maharshi. One day, Maharshi came to know that Arjun's great grandson Janmejaya had organized a Sarpasatra Yajna. So he went there with his disciples to bless him. Seeing Maharshi Vyasa, Janmejaya welcomed him and honored him and his disciples, after which he said, O Brahmarshi, you have witnessed the great war between my ancestors, the Pandavas and the Kauravas. Please tell me the story of it. On this, Vyasa asked his disciple Vaishampayan to narrate to the Maharaja the story of his ancestors. O king, the story that I am going to tell you clearly explains the teaching of Dharma. Now I tell you this great saga of your dynasty, the Bharatvansh. Saying this, Vaishampayan narrated the immortal story of the Mahabharata to Janmejaya, which begins like this. At the end of Satyuga, Lord Vishnu's incarnation Parshurama had made the earth Kshatriya free 21 times. He had killed all the adharmic Kshatriyas on earth, due to which the balance of the universe was disturbed, because for the sustenance of this world, the 4 Varnas, Kshatriya, Brahmin, Vaishya, and Kshudra are needed. Then, the Brahmins gave birth to many sons with the widows of the Kshatriyas, who later became kings. And, in this way, the Brahmins re-established the Kshatriya Varna in the society. These Kshatriyas, born to Brahmins, were very prudent, that is, intelligent, kind, and valiant. They used to run the kingdom by following me, that is, Dharma. But as the eras changed and Treta Yuga arrived, the number of demons and monsters started increasing on earth. In Satyuga, demons used to live in another world, but in Treta and Dwapar Yuga, they started living on earth and started oppressing humans along with evil Kshatriyas. My power, that is, the power of Dharma, keeps decreasing after every era, and whenever my scale starts to become light, then the gods take incarnation on this earth to restore balance. This time also the same thing happened. Seeing the powers of the evil Kshatriyas and demons rise, all the sages and the devas went to Brahma and asked for a solution to this problem, on which he said that only Lord Vishnu can help them. After that, all the devas went to Sagar and requested Lord Vishnu to take birth on this earth. To which Lord Vishnu said, "So be it. I am going to take birth in the form of Ramachandra and Krishna later, but I need the help of you devas to kill the demons. I want all of you devas to take birth on earth in the form of humans and animals so that you can help these incarnations of mine." After getting this order from Lord Vishnu, all the devas started taking birth in the form of different kings, common people, and animals. After this, Vaishampayan said to Janmejaya, "O king, there were many kings in your dynasty who were the incarnations of these devas or were their sons. Now, I will tell you the genealogy of your dynasty. Prajapati Brahma, the creator of the world, had a son named Sage Atri. His son was Chandradev, the moon god. After him, Buddha, or the Mercury planet, was born. From him came Pururava. Now this is the king whose two sons took forward three different dynasties. One dynasty was Puruvansh, in which Pandavas and Kauravas took birth. One, Yaduvansh, in which Sri Krishna took birth. And in the third dynasty, famous people like Jamadagni, Parshuram, and Shakuntala were born. First, I will tell you the genealogy of Yaduvansh, that is, the Yadav dynasty. King Pururava had a son named Ayu, one of whose sons was named Nahush. Nahush's famous son's name was Yayati, who was the founder of the Yadu and Puru dynasties. Yayati's two main sons were Yadu and Puru. Yadu was cursed by his father Yayati that his descendants would never be called kings, and that is why the Yadavas are called chiefs. Yadu had a son named Kroshtu. After him, 31 generations later, a great chief named Satvata was born. Satvata had two sons, Vrishni and Andhak. Yudhajit was born to Vrishni. After him came Anamitra. 8 generations after him came Devamit. He had two sons, Shurasena and Parjanya. From Parjanya came Nanda Maharaj, whose wife was Yashoda, who raised Krishna and gave birth to a girl in the form of Yogamaya, whom Kansa tried to kill. Shurasena, who was the son of Devamit, gave birth to Vasudev and Kunti. From Vasudev came Sri Krishna, Balram, and Subhadra. And Shurasen gave his daughter Kunti to his childless cousin Kunti Bhoja, from whom the great Pandavas, the great grandfather of Janmejaya, were born. Now Satvata had two sons, Vrishni and Andhak. I have told you about Vrishnivansh. Now let us move towards Andhakvansh. Andhak had a son named Kukur, from whom, after 7 generations, came a chief named Punarvasu. Punarvasu's son was Ahuk, who had two sons named Devak and Ugrasen. Chief Devak's daughter was Devki, the mother of Krishna, and Ugrasen's son was the evil Kamsa. This is the genealogy of Yaduvansh. Now it is Puruvansh's turn. Yayati had a son Puru, after whose 14 generations the great king Dushyant was born, whose son was Chakravarti Samrat Bharat, after whom our country was named Bharat, and after whom the Kuru dynasty also came to be known as Bharatvansh. After Bharat came Bhumanyu, after whom came Brihat Kshetra, then Hasti, after whose name the capital city was named Hastinapur. His son was King Ajamid, after whose 2 generations came King Kuru, after whom the dynasty was also named Kuruvansh. After him came King Jahannu. After his 10 generations came King Prateep, whose son was King Shantanu, who had 3 sons, Bhishma, Chitrangad, and Vichitravirya. Vichitravirya's wives gave birth to Dhritarashtra and Pandu with the blessings of Maharshi Vyas. The Kauravas came from Dhritarashtra and the Pandavas from Pandu. This is the genealogy of the Puru and Yaduvansh. King Bharat was the son of King Dushyant and Devi Shakuntala. He was a very dharmic king. It was said that his kingdom was no less than Rama's ideal kingdom. He had set an example of justice in society. When he had to choose a crown prince for his throne, he said that none of his sons were eligible for the throne, and he would make someone from his subjects the king. Such was his justice. It was the grace of Sage Bharadwaj who performed Putra Kameshti Yajna to give King Bharat a son named Bhumanyu, who was eligible to sit on his throne. But the seed of democracy that has sprouted during King Bharat's rule withered a few generations later during the reign of King Shantanu of Hastinapur, when birth was considered greater than deed, and the present of the kingdom was put at stake for some unknown future. In fact, from that day onwards, the land of Kurukshetra started getting ready for the war of the Mahabharata. Now, I stop my story here. In the coming chapters, you will get to know about the fate of Shantanu, Bhishma, and Hastinapur. Till then, please ponder over my definition so that you can understand the coming story completely. Like, share, and subscribe if you like our videos. Please also comment on the video and express your thoughts and questions.